there, football freaks, and very welcome to the next episode of Talking K-Town, the podcast where we talk about K-Town. And because talking to myself would be very boring, I'm always, as always, happy that my dear friend Steven is with me. Steven, how are you, my brother?
Matze, I'm doing really good, man. It seems like it's been forever and a day
yes.
since we've actually talked. It's like, I think the last time it was this long was when we had our mid-winter pause episode, and the World Cup was going on, which nobody cared about.
Absolutely agreed.
And it was like, what are we doing this program? What team do we support?
I
can't remember.
Hey, let me look it up. It is the Erste FCK. There it is.
Was it Mannheim or?
Oh my God! Well, I took the one close to my hometown, so it must be Mannheim. No, we're talking about our beloved club K-Town, and talking about football is, I think, it is essential to have a can of beer. So if you're old enough, crack yourself one open and drink it with us.
Drink a can of Coke or root beer.
Root beer. Drink whatever you want. And if it's as hot as at Steven's place, water is also a very good option, if you ask me.
Agreeable.
But Steven, cheers, my brother.
Zum Wohl. Prost.
Zum Wohl. So, bro,
it is for you German people, it is 35 degrees, or no, 32 degrees Celsius here today in the state of Arizona. And we were talking about this before it came on. Arizona has had 26 straight days of 110 degrees Fahrenheit weather. So anybody that's complaining, just be grateful that you don't live in Arizona or the city of Death Valley where it was 130.
That is simply incredible. Yeah. Simply incredible. And you know, bro, that is no joke. People in Germany, at my area, from Rheinland-Pfalz, especially from Neustadt, they complaining because it's way too cold, and I can definitely see this because it's raining for the last, I think, 3 or 4 days now, and Bella is laying on the couch with a sweater and jogging pants under a blanket. This is completely nuts, man. Last year at this point we were melting, like really. There was no doubt that anyone would go outside and do anything because you can't. Simply you can't. You can't even start sweating because everything is just dissolving immediately.
Yeah, it evaporates. I remember 2018 when I arrived there, we had, I think, usually in July and August is when you get the heat spells.
Yes.
And I think in 2018 we had like 2 or 3 days where it was really bad. 2019, I remember in August, we had like a week to a week and a half where it was like 30 degrees, 31. Mm-hmm. And if you tried to go to a swimming pool, it was so crowded you couldn't get in. There's a big swimming pool. If you live in K-Town, you know this pool. It's called the Waschmühle. This very giant public swimming pool. And there were cars that were parked all up the main road up into K-Town to park to get into this place, and everybody was in the grass on towels. The pool was full of water. It was like every 2 feet you were running into somebody. It was like a concert in the water.
Yes.
So
absolutely overcrowded. Doesn't make fun if you ask me. Nope. But we're not here to talk about the weather. We want to talk about the beloved club of ours. And we didn't had the opportunity to do this show earlier because, as I mentioned in some live streams, perhaps you have saw it, that my summer break was pretty busy. My brother got married. And then we had the marriage celebration 2 weeks later. In between, Bella and I were in Frankfurt, and then we were on Mauritius for 2 weeks, and now we're back again, back on track, and looking forward to the upcoming season. So, how did you survive the 72 days?
I did a lot of stuff, actually. I've had a lot of stuff going on at work, and I had the opportunity to watch our FC Kaiserslautern here in America. My friend Ricardo and his girlfriend Lisa came through. They stopped in New York and were on a kind of like a driving tour of the United
that is
States.
amazing.
And they rented a car and they drove everywhere. They ended up in Toronto, New York City, and then from Toronto they came to Cleveland, spent 2 days with me, or actually 3 days. They went down to Louisville City, which was the first team that hosted our club for a friendly match.
Yeah.
And then 3 days later, I joined them in Minneapolis, along with a friend of mine, Chris Hofer. He's from Morlautern, and we all kind of joined forces up there in Minneapolis and watched our team play Minnesota United, which is an FC team here in America. It's their MLS, and they play in what would be considered our top flight Bundesliga. They're in the MLS. We don't have promotion or relegation here in the U.S. just yet. It is in the works right now. Cleveland might be getting a second-tier team, which would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they think within 10 years we will have a full 2 or 3 tier system with promotion relegation, so we could catch up to the rest of the world and have a reason to play the game, not just for the love of the game, but to promote, to relegate, and I'm looking forward to that happening. But Minneapolis was so cool. There was about, I would say, 200 to 300 people that went together, and maybe around 80 came from Germany directly to watch the team.
That's great.
The day of the match, we met at this bar right around the corner from the stadium, which is Allianz Field, which is kind of a miniature version of Allianz Arena in Bayern.
Okay.
In Munich. It's just a shorter version of it. It was white with, the different colors on the outside. So for a moment we saw it. I'm like, I feel like I'm in Bavaria. I expect to see Bayern Munich come out, but it was their stadium, and we met at the saloon about 5 or 6 hours before the match, and we got drunk, and we did a fan march from the bar
cool
to the stadium, about 50 people across and about maybe 6 rows deep. All of us marching together, singing the fight songs.
That is cool.
The police stopped traffic so we wouldn't get hurt.
Okay.
We weren't like those climate protesters that are sitting in the street. We moved through the streets and got to take in the game. And just for a few hours, it was like I was back there in Kaiserslautern. It was really a really special meeting. We didn't win. We beat Louisville City, I think, 2-1.
Yes.
2-0.
No, 2-1. Yeah, with that amazing goal. Yeah, and the one that the header was really crazy.
Yeah. It just like he became part of like Kaiserslautern lore in history, with Fritz Walter with his heel shot.
Yeah,
where he kicked it with the back of his heel and it went in. And here Terrence Boyd is face down in the mud, and the ball rolls to him, and he just hits it in, and it goes in. And it was like, this is pretty cool. But
this is passionate playing.
Yeah. So a very successful, I think, first time in America for FC Kaiserslautern. I don't know if they've ever been to the U.S. to play before, but I hope this is something that continues to happen, because not only does it promote the game of football, which we all love, but it associates a German club with the Americans. And, it does nothing but good things for both clubs, for the sport, for the fan base, because just like we say on our program here, Betze is all around the world now. We're a worldwide known club.
Yes.
So we need to get that passion back here in America, because there's a lot of us here that love Kaiserslautern.
Yeah, not just because Kaiserslautern is awesome, because it's our club, but also with Rammstein, where the American has their military base. I really think that this is going to be it was like a start for something huge, hopefully.
Yeah.
At the end of the last season, there was the commercial, quote unquote, with Terrence Boyd, where he is explaining in English to the people from the base there to come and see Kaiserslautern and see us football play. So I think this is very good. It is a bigger connection. And hopefully it is going to be like not the last time that we're have been played in America. And next time I will be with you.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
And some side stories to that, which, by the way, I do have some stickers that I will send to you in the post. Betsy International, and it was it's a picture of Uncle Sam with like "I want you," you know. With the German and the American hat with Betsy International below it. It's a really cool, idea. I don't know who came up with it, but it was really neat.
It is.
But after the game in Minnesota, most of the team went into the cabin, and Terrence Boyd went to the sideline, and for a good, I would say, 35 minutes, just signed autographs. He started at one end, went all the way down the field. And I saw what he was doing. I was sitting up in the upper deck. The guest block up there was in the upper portion of the stadium. And I told my friends, hey, I'm going to go down and say hi to Terrence to see if he remembers me. Because, you know, we've only been on, he's never seen me in person. He's only came onto our program on audio.
Yeah.
But I've you know, kept up. We talk on Instagram all the time. And I went down there and I say, hey, Terrence, it's Steve, man. And, I think he was in the mindset where he just has to go person to person. And, you know, briefly, you know, I got a photo with him. I'm like, hey, I had mentioned about bringing a Prince record to the Kaiserslautern, the physio, the doctor that travels with the team. And I told him, hey, man, I couldn't find the album. I'm sorry, but if I do find it, I'll ship it to you. And he acknowledged it. And then he kept going. And then when I got home, I had messaged him, hey, I'm sorry, you know, I wanted to meet you for a drink afterwards. And I guess it clicked on him that was me.
Yeah.
He's like, oh my God, bro, I'm so sorry. I didn't recognize you. You know, I was so like busy in the zone getting, you know, can you want to meet up with a drink still? Well, by the time that he had responded to that message, my phone died.
Oh, no.
And we had gone out, and so I got back to the hotel. I'm like, oh, man, dude, I am sorry. We could have met up, but my phone died because it you know, doing videos all day.
Yeah, sure.
Without power, it died. And I'm like, hey, we'll catch up the next time. Well, the next day, me and Chris were flying back to Cleveland, where he was going to extend his holiday in my hometown for 4 days. And we're in the airport in Minneapolis, and we're about 3 hours early for our flight because I have an earlier one. He had to be there a little bit earlier than me. And we're sitting in the terminal, and I start seeing guys with the red luggage.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, I see I see Florian Dick.
Yeah.
And then I start seeing Zimmer.
Oh my God.
I see players coming down the hallway. I'm like, oh my God, they're all here. The whole team is flying back.
Yeah.
So I saw Terrence again, and I walked up to him like, oh, Terrence, dude, I'm sorry about last night. My phone died. And I got so many photographs with all the players of the team, Florian Dick, and I got to talk to Redondo for a good 10 minutes, and he was so friendly. I saw Herscher, Zimmer, Florian Dick, the physio guy. Terrence introduced me to a few players. So not being able to have a beer with him turned into meeting the entire team and spending like a half an hour just hanging with my players. It was like such a cool experience. They loved America. They were so they couldn't stop talking about how happy their heart was to see this traveling group of people that went. Some of these people went to both matches, Louisville and Minneapolis, which is not very close apart. but just getting to hang out with Terrence, we had a coffee together, and he said he would love to come back on our program, but they're getting ready for
Of
the
course.
season opener this week, so he didn't reply, but I know he read it. He's just busy.
Man, I totally understand that, man. First off, I'm so happy that you sent me the pictures, and I was so happy for you that you met everybody and had time to talk to them. And I think this is so extremely cool that they even took their time to take pictures and have a team This is something which also makes a bigger connection between you as a fan and the team. So this is a very, very precious memory, I guess. Brother? Hello?
Sorry,
Bro?
I must have bumped the mute button.
I was like, are you talking to yourself now? Don't you want to talk to us anymore?
I have completely lost my mind over here. No,
yeah, I see.
But I was saying, like, when I saw them, I'm like, all right, Steve, you have to like maintain your composure. Don't be like a fanboy. And go
yeah,
like, oh
Terrence! I want a child from you.
It's like meeting your favorite like celebrity.
Yeah.
And then meeting all of your favorite celebrities at one time. It's like, oh my God, mine is.
Yeah.
But they were so approachable, and meeting Florian Dick was really special to me too, because I told him, behind me here on the wall is a photo that Michel Schmidt took of Florian Dick at his last game in 2018, back when we had the red and white jerseys. And I told him, you were like the first guy that I really knew about, and I have your picture in my man cave in the basement. He's like, I'm really grateful, but isn't there a better player that could be on your wall other than
see, how do you call it when someone is not trying, when he's not
we call it humility.
Yeah, thank you.
Very gracious, yeah.
Gracious. That was the word I was looking for. Thank you. That is just awesome. And
and I told him I got to watch you play, and I'm watching you coach, and you've helped Terrence with the whole friendship with America. He's brought them on. I think Florian Dick is actually one of the main guys in this friendship universal program that they've got going on right now. And I invited him back. I'm like, Cleveland or Ohio has a connection with Kaiserslautern because of a certain guy named Thomas Dooley, who played with the Columbus Crew. And I kind of told him, well, the next time you guys come to America, you need to play in Columbus because of Thomas Dooley and his connection.
Yeah.
Because he played in Kaiserslautern, won the German Cup there in 91, the German championship, and then came to Columbus and played with the Crew, I think, from 95 to 98, I think.
Oh, okay.
So I think that would be really special if they make this a yearly thing where they come to the United States to train. I told them, come to Ohio. Would love to see you guys, and maybe you can stop and train against a college team here in Cleveland. I could show you my city, and then travel 2 hours down the road and play Columbus for a friendly match. And he seemed very receptive about that. So, but yeah, I can't stop talking about it because it's just was so awesome to run into these guys at the airport and to actually have quality time. And I had so much that I wanted to thank them for. When I saw Philip, I'm like, man, I remember when you scored the second goal against Dresden.
Oh my God!
And when you slid in the ground, and I was so happy at that moment. And I asked him what he felt. He's like, I didn't have any words until like the next day.
Yeah.
Like when I woke up, and I'm like, we're going up. And he's like, it took like hours for it to like become like a reality.
Yes.
And I'm like,
yes.
I was there watching you, man. And and the goal where he scored against
Heidenheim, yeah.
in extra time, and he scored the tying match. And
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, you have so many like awesome moments in my head from you, and I was like, dude, it's so awesome to meet you. Really friendly. I just can't say enough positive things about that moment in that weekend in Minneapolis. So great.
That is absolutely great, and I'm so happy that you had this awesome time. And as you said, just meeting the people which you're looking up to is always great. And if these people are as friendly as they were, is just unspeakably great.
Oh yeah.
But now we have to focus on the upcoming season. Where should we start?
Well, we've got a lot of work to do.
I guess so. Yeah.
You know, we can wrap up the last part of the season of last year by saying it was. I was happy that we finished in the top 10 and we maintained our class, but to me it seemed like they spent so much energy rocketing to the top. And then they kind of put their foot off the gas and kind of coasted into that 50 points where they were safe, you know,
40.
Or 40.
Yep.
And then it was like, oh, we've done what we came to do. We can kind of coast. Now there were some exciting matches towards the end of the year, especially Heidenheim, where we had some miraculous finishes, but
still, they were like the last away match where we lost 2-0 against Karlsruhe. Then the last match on the Betzenberg, 3-0 for Düsseldorf. That was really not the finish I wanted to have, but I'm very happy and I'm very thankful. And for the upcoming season is the same. It stays the same goal, staying in the second league and reach the best place you can get. And there were like a vote going on Facebook and Wir sind Betze, where they ask which place we're going to end, like number 2, 1 or 2, then relegation, and then the rest, like partially. And the most people are expecting us to be like in rank 5 to 9, I guess. So and this is
what I said.
Exactly. Top 10, but not on top, because to be honest, you have Schalke, you have Hertha, you have HSV, the 3 clubs which are, in my opinion, definitely going to be on the top 5. Then you have like St. Pauli, which is our first enemy in this upcoming season, coming on Saturday, which had an amazing second half of the season. They've been on the first place
in the first half of the year. It just like a light bulb like came on, and they rocketed right up.
Absolutely. They ended in the second half of the season on the table on rank 1 with 7 points ahead of rank 2. They just lost twice in the second half against Braunschweig and against the HSV. So this is going to be a very tough match, especially if you see the test matches. They played 7 of them, and they have a goal difference by 25-2. Wow. Yeah, exactly my thoughts. Wow. You can't say anything else instead of wow. But it's going to be a tough match, but it's the first match. We have the first match on the Betzenberg. More than 41,000 tickets sold already. I think we're going to be 45,000-ish, roundabout. And 2,700 from St. Pauli are coming.
Okay.
So we have also an enemy which brings like support with them, which is cool. And we have 5 new players. So I'm looking forward for the upcoming game. It's going to be, as I said, an extremely tough one, and it's going to be a very harsh game. But a good friend of mine said we are going to win 2-1 or 3-1 because we lay 1 goal behind, and then we turn it up. Boyd and I forgot his name.
Ragnar.
Ragnar,
I
thank
just call
you.
him Ragnar.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
he's going to score at least one goal because, as it looks like, he's going to be able to play. And yeah, he just came on Monday or Tuesday, and being in the team for just 1 week and showing what you can do is, I think, a good situation to start up. And he played in Frankfurt before, and before that he played in the Netherlands. So the Netherlands are also a very hard league, an extremely hard league with extremely passionate fans. So he knows how to handle the crowd.
Yeah.
And Frankfurt also has extremely good fans. Even though I don't like them, they have extreme fans. So I think he's going to fit perfectly. But he's not the only one. You just said in advance that you got the names up on your screen. So help me out here, brother.
The first guy comes from Jan Regensburg. Jan Elvedi.
Elvedi, yep.
Defender.
Yep.
We have... I don't even know how to pronounce this. I know he's Polish, but
oh yeah,
Timo Puchatz, I think he's a defender from Union Berlin.
Yeah, he is borrowed. Unfortunately, just borrowed.
Unlearned, yeah.
But Union Berlin is a very good team. If you look up for the last, let's say, 10 years or something, they become so extremely good. But first up, let's talk about Elvedi. He's from Jan Regensburg, which got relegated last season. And unfortunately, almost all of their players didn't have any contract for the third league. So there were 23 players which needed to go. So it's a completely sellout, if you ask me. But that doesn't mean that he is a bad player. Because I said it before and I say it now, Hengen is doing an extremely good job, and Schuster wanted a defender, and Hengen did so many good things in the past 2 years that he has my complete trust, and he will fit into our team, especially because he had like the whole summer break to get involved in our team and become a part of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We just had a moment to gel.
Yeah.
But this, the guy here that sticks out to me is this Tobias Roschel from Greater Fürth.
Yep.
Midfielder. Yep. Richmond Tachi.
Oh, hang on. I really think he has come from Greuther Fürth. Okay, they got relegated from the first league. Now they play in the second league. Now we got him. And the middle field is always like the problem child, as we would call it in German. Sometimes I feel like that the middle field is a little too slow.
Yeah.
You know, we get the ball in the defense row until it's back on track on the way into the attacking mode. It sometimes takes too much time. So the enemy team has enough time to collect themselves and go back. But hopefully, I think Raschel has very good points when it comes to speed. So hopefully he will be the fast bridge in the middle.
Yeah. All of our speed has been on the wing, like Redondo,
yes,
Opoku, very, very fast players. So somebody like Boyd, who is a weapon, sometimes he needs time to get into position where he can dominate. Yeah, so
because he's not like the Finn player. He's more like the bullyish guy, or bull-like guy. You know what I mean? This is very good when it comes to heading or something, when it's a corner or something, because, well, he has the mass to push against another player. You know what? Does that make sense?
Kind of like when you're playing basketball and somebody's shooting and you're in what they call the paint, and you're kind of elbowing and you're trying to rebound the ball. If it's a miss, you know, he can kind of box guys out with his height and his weight.
Exactly.
And kind of put himself in the best position to get ahead on the ball, which we are, I think, one of the best teams in the Bundesliga for set pieces, like corner kicks, free kicks. He's just that kind of guy that commands 2 or 3 guys to be put on him.
Yeah.
So hopefully that frees up more guys to kind of sneak in, and maybe if a corner goes through the box instead of being headed, somebody can kick the ball into the corner.
Yeah.
So, we'll see what happens. But
yeah, because you just named him Tachi. Richmond Tachi is also now, he is an attacker. First up. Awesome thing, very, very good that we got an attacker. Also, he's from Paderborn, which was a goal machine. Like in the last season, they scored, I think, the second most goals or third most. That they scored so many freaking goals in this season, and this is something very important because I think we had, if we had used half of our chances, we would have get promoted.
Yeah.
Because we call it a knipser, where the attacker gets the ball and he just scores. Yeah, and hopefully he is one of these. Otherwise, we have the guy from Frankfurt. I forgot his name again. Ragnar. And hopefully we have now 3 attackers, which is extremely good, especially if you add together with Redondo and Opoku on the wings, as you said earlier. We can get the ball up to the front very quick and have like people in the middle who can who can score. So I guess that the 4-3-4 4-2-3. Bad. Oh my god! I'm sorry. 4-3-3. There we go. Yeah. It's way easier for me to say it in German. It's a 4-3-3, and it's always confused. Okay, no, on the other hand, we can play a 4-3-4, and then we have like 1 player in advance, so against the enemy team. Nobody will count. No. So, yeah.
And it's funny, that's like the only, like, I've learned a lot about this sport in the last, 5 years. That's pretty much like the last thing for me to grasp is like the 4-3-4 or these different kinds of field setups. What does one favor over another? One is mainly for defense.
Yep.
One is for fast attack. Those are things that I'm still working on, really understanding. Why would we deploy in this configuration instead of another one?
Sorry. And it's when I say 4-3-3. No, so then you have like 2 hanging wings. We call it like you have the 2 attack. You have the row of 4 players, but the attackers are a little higher to the goal of the enemy team than the wings. So you have like hanging wings or flying wings. So this is very complicated, and I'm a football fan for my whole life, and I still have problems with saying, okay, the enemy team is like playing in a 3-4-3. That means we should play in a 4-3-3 or 3-4-3 or I have no idea. This is why I never become a coach.
Yeah.
But I have friends which are.
You could be like Boris Somers and just use your. What is 4-4-3? Hello, Google.
Help me out.
Siri, I need help. Alexa, help me.
No, you really have something going on with Somers, right? You always mention him, and I can totally see why. He's like the laptop trainer. So there you go. No, so. Let's see what's going to happen. The fan base is there. It is absolutely there. You know that I think it was in March or February last year, we welcomed our 16,000 or 17,000 member of Kaiserslautern. And now we reached the 25,000. That is absolutely nuts. Really, that is so extremely crazy, and now I have to brag a little bit, or flex, or how do you call it? on the game against the FC Nürnberg at the Betzenberg, I'm going to get in front of the West Curve to get my lifelong membership certificate.
Wow.
Yes.
Amazing.
Oh, yes, man. Looking forward to that.
I will bring up the rear, and I just have my annual membership, but that is only possible because of you. Because I did the paperwork. You paid it, and then I pay you indirectly because they couldn't figure out how to do it from
the States.
But I am honored now to be one of 25,000 members.
You helped becoming this huge number.
One of less than 100 Americans, from what I understand. So I am one of the very unique ones.
Yes, you are.
Non-German members of the club.
Yeah, so that is very, very special. Extremely
special.
Of
my chest beating moment.
I can totally see why, because this is something so. Well, let me say this like this. We reached 25,000, which is amazing, and a record for our club. But on the other hand, I don't want to make us smaller than we are, but Bayern Munich has 300,000. Oh, yeah. Then you have...
Dortmund?
No, hang on. Then the next rank is Lissabon with 260,000. And afterwards you have, I think it was Borussia Dortmund on rank 5-ish or something. But under the top 10 are four German clubs. Wow. So the Germans love their being in a club. So, yeah. And I think this is extremely important. So... Because if you estimate that the new player from Frankfurt, you know who I am, Ragnar. Oh my God, I really have to remember his name. He costed around about.
Just call him Akka.
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 Yeah. Okay, Akka. He costed around about 2 million. And the membership for Kaiserslautern costs round about $100. So we paid his we paid for him the salary. Thank you. Yeah. So becoming a member is extremely important.
And when I see that kind of a number, most people that know about football over there realize the difference between K-Town and Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich is such this legendary juggernaut that has billions and billions of euros into it, and they can afford any player at any time. And we're the little city with the little team, and we're still in the 5 digits, which is impressive for me considering the size difference between the budget for Bayern Munich against the budget for K-Town.
Absolutely.
And the size of the city,
Absolutely. And as I said, I don't want to make us smaller than we are because, 25,000 people is a huge amount. And we're still extremely good when it comes to members. So, having a competitor like Bayern Munich, you can't compare. You can't compare. You have then you have Schalke 04, which is also one of the club with the greatest amount of members, which is going to be our next enemy on the second match day away in Gelsenkirchen. So we call it Auf Schalke. And after 22 minutes, the 6,500, 800 tickets were sold out completely. And it was a pain in the ass to get a ticket, but Bella and I were so extremely lucky to get 2. So we're going to be there. And I'm looking forward to it like crazy. This is going to be crazy because I've never been there before.
Yeah, I've never been there either. And that's... How far of a drive is that from K-Town?
4.5 hours, perhaps
okay,
5.
Not terrible.
Not terrible, no.
It's not like Elversberg when we go on the road to Elversberg. It's like going to the market around the corner. You know?
Yeah, well, this is our third game of the season, and this is going to be a very interesting one because, to be honest, they get promoted by. Well, there was no doubts about it. From start to finish, they played an extremely good season, and I'm looking forward for what they are going to do, because they didn't afford or buy any extremely expensive players. They stick to their actual third league team, and when they got new players, they're all like contract free.
Okay.
They had no contract, hadn't any club, but that doesn't mean that they are bad. So let's see, especially when it comes to a situation when Hamburg, HSV, I don't want to say us because, well, we're next door to them, but then is coming Hamburg with thousands and thousands of people, Hertha BSC Berlin, so Hertha BSC, or Schalke, which brings thousands of people in this tiny stadium. This is going to be crazy. So, and to be honest, there was a huge laughter on my side because Saarbrücken said, we're going to be back in the second league, and now they have like this tiny club. No one ever hear about them. They got promoted and Saarbrücken not. That was so funny.
Trying your beer there, Saarbrücken fans. Yep. Well, we'll see. I mean, you know, I do enjoy keeping my eyes on other divisions.
Yeah.
To me, the second league and the third league are where all the action's at, because everybody knows in the first league Bayern is probably going to win. So I like looking. I like looking for you know, what happens in our league and in the third league.
Yeah, but you just said it. I think we didn't talk about Bayern Munich's winning the German championship.
Yeah, they got so lucky, and once again, not a single fan went out and celebrated.
But bro, to be absolutely honest, Borussia Dortmund it was their own freaking fault.
They choked.
Yeah. Yes, they did. Yeah. How could you play against Mainz and being 2 goals behind and play like this? There was no passion. They were playing like they already celebrated the championship a day in advance. This is, I was watching the game and I was like, that is...
Yeah, it was so disappointing. we were watching it here too because they had it on ESPN. I'm like,
okay.
And my friend Jason, who you've met, that is our VfB Stuttgart fan, we're sitting there watching it. I'm like, they're gonna blow this.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about it the week before, and like, oh, this is, you know, Dortmund's got it made. Their last game is against Mainz, and they stink. You know?
Yes.
They come out like they were, you know, champions and beat the crap out of them, and it's just wow. Uninspired football.
Uninspired football. Yep. But could you please explain me why in heaven and hell did they just started playing real football in the last 15 minutes? I mean, Borussia Dortmund. Why?
Yeah.
You should play like this the whole 90 freaking minutes.
Yep.
But no.
And we've seen that before with some of our matches.
No, never. We never did something like this. We're way smarter.
We'll wait to start playing until like 5 minutes before the stoppage time, and then we come from behind and tie.
Yeah. Know? But also, because you said this, what do you say about the promotion of VfL Osnabrück? Have you saw this?
Interesting, yeah.
That they scored twice in the stoppage time, and there is a video online where you see like the last, I guess, 2 minutes or something of the game, and see how the crowd goes completely nuts because they scored and then they get promoted. You have to look it up because that celebration scream of this goal is goosebumps, brother. Goosebumps. Yeah. That is...
And I don't have any bad feelings to Osnabrück. I don't think we even see them as a friend or a foe. I don't really know if we have history with them or not. But...
When it comes to my side, I would definitely say I have like friendish feelings for them, because as you know, I've been in the bus which were broke down on the way to Osnabrück, so we just arrived there at the second half, and they were so extremely friendly, so kind, that the whole bus, that were like 40 people or something, we were sitting there for 4 to 5 hours after the game in the block. The second president of Osnabrück came to us in the block, and he said to me that he organized that the stand for beer and for food will be still open, and the toilets are open, so we can stay there and have something to drink, something to eat, a place to use the toilet and stuff. Yeah. And he joined us, and I had a very nice conversation with him, and we spent the whole time there, and it was freaking awesome. So this is really something I hold them really, where I was so happy, because they deserved to get promoted, and I have friendish feelings for them.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we wouldn't have gotten that kind of treatment in Saarbrücken or Mannheim if that had happened. They'd probably be like, well, you don't have working toilets to begin with, so...
Yeah. But on one side, this is, of course, like a welcome for other fans. But not a welcome, how do you call it? Stranger friendliness is but also, which is a point which we shouldn't forget, it's a safety thing. What other thing should have we done? Let's say they closed the doors of the stadium 1 hour after the match. Then we would have gone into the city to find a place to stay, to drink, to eat, and to use the bathroom. So it is also a topic of safety, that they said, okay, stay here. Now we have you all together. You know what I mean? But it was still so nice, because we just, all of us got a free beer. So,
oh wow,
yeah, it was a very great time. Really
good for them, you know, having experienced promotion.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to feel happy for them,
yep.
Especially when it comes in that kind of a miracle moment like that.
Yeah.
You know, so I will have to look that up. Or just do me a favor and send me that link on YouTube, and I'll fire that up on the TV later. But yeah, it'll be nice to see them. I think they were in the third league with us in 2018. Yes. And they kind of were that elevator club, up down, yo-yo club, you know.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, I'm very happy for them. So
yeah.
Good thing there. And yeah, as I said, we need to focus on the upcoming teams, which are, as I said, Hertha, Schalke, Hamburg again screwed the relegation up against VfB Stuttgart. Yeah. I was streaming both matches, and I was celebrating for our friends from Stuttgart, of course.
Yep.
And yeah, then we have, like, as I said, I should stop saying as I said, Elversberg and Osnabrück. So, which is going to be interesting games, all of them. Yeah. Because Elversberg, first time in the second league, Osnabrück, bringing good fans, and Schalke, Hertha also. Mm-hmm. And I've never been in Berlin, in the Olympia Stadium before, so perhaps this is going to be happening this year. And have you heard the today's news that we reached 24,000 sold season tickets?
I have not heard that at all, no.
That's crazy, brother. Absolutely crazy. You don't get any tickets for the West Curve anymore. Completely sold out. Oh, wow. No season tickets anymore.
Well, that news is making me thirsty. So here's to number 2 here.
Yeah, cheers. I'm starting with my number 2 now. Yeah, bad word decision here, right here.
Oh.
I'm starting with number 2.
Yeah.
Be right back.
Not that number 2. I don't think that I've ever seen, that kind of a sellout while I was there. Of course, in the third league, we were lucky to get 13,000 people in the stadium.
Yep.
And that was usually all in the West Curve with maybe a few hundred people on the North and South Tribune. But I think looking back, this past season was really nice to see a full stadium every home match, because that reminds me of probably how it used to be when we were in the first league and the second league back in the late 90s and the early 2000s and the 2000 teens. I didn't get to see that because I wasn't a fan. I became a fan at the worst possible time. Most of the German people would tell me, oh, you should have been here a decade ago or 20 years ago. But we're really sad that you become a fan when we're in the third division. I don't care.
You started at the worst point, and isn't that a very good start for a good relationship?
Direction. You can only go up.
Yeah.
There. So, well, we almost went down again.
Yeah. I just want to cancel that out in my thoughts.
We dodged that bullet, and in the same year that we almost were in a position to get relegated again, we made our climb. So in one season, you could go from being right at the edge of the cliff to relegation to right at the middle of the ladder, climbing up for promotion.
And we got promoted.
Yep.
So still a very, very, very important thing is our former trainer, and I'm really sad that we fired him in a position where he mostly deserved he has the lion part of the promotion, if you ask me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Who cares?
Speaking of former coaches, it'll be nice to see Sascha Hildmann in the third league again.
Yeah.
With Christian Münster.
Exactly.
I hope that they do good in that season. I still like Sascha.
He's a very good guy.
He was my favorite trainer during our third league times, with the exception of our last guy that got us there.
I have a short story to tell here. We played against Zwickau on an away match, and in the last seconds we got the draw again, and we were standing in the block after the match, and almost everyone was gone, and I started to sing the Lautern wir lieben dich song, and the team was up at the fence from the block, and afterwards we were driving. We were there with our car, and we stopped at a gas station, and all of a sudden the bus came, and some of the team went out, and Sascha Hildmann walked toward me, and before I had the chance to say something, he greeted me and said hello, and thanked me for cheering the team up and sticking to us like this, to them like this. And it was very interesting to have like the small conversation like you had on the airport. But we didn't take any pictures, and a friend of mine made it absolutely clear to say constructive conversation is more worth than a picture. Yeah, especially because the situation doesn't felt right to ask for pictures, because they all were pretty down, because they were, you threw 2 points away again in a very bad situation, but that was really cool. So
the only time I got to meet him was at I think it's that little stadium that we played AFC Wimbledon a couple of years 3 years ago. It's about 40 Weingarten.
Something like this.
but we were playing an English club, and for anybody that has never been there, it's just a field with like a little steel rod that went around the outside that you stand up against. And like when you're watching the match, you have guys that are like, the players are within a meter from you. You know, if they're doing a throw in, like I could reach out and touch Florian Pick's jersey because he's like right in front of me throwing the ball in. And right before the match, I got to meet Sasha Hildman and a couple of the other players. What was the guy that had the face mask for a while because his nose got broke?
I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, I see his face.
Yeah, me
in
too.
My head right now.
With the mask, including.
It'll
It wasn't cool weather. It wasn't cool weather. It was not Pick. It was not. Nah.
It'll come to me in a few minutes. But yeah, I got to meet them, you know, right before the match started, and Sasha was very gracious to take a photo with me, and I might have been the only American there. I was the only guy speaking English for sure, because I had just gotten, you know, to Germany not that long ago. So, Hildman was a really great guy from you know, Enkenbach, Elsenborn, right there around the corner from the city. Just a good guy, and I root for him, even though he doesn't coach us anymore. I want nothing but good stuff for him.
Personal sympathy.
Yep.
And he is a very nice guy, and because of that, I think that he was not absolutely fitting to K-Town, to our club, because I always say, like, we need coaches who are, because the fans are as well, a little edgy, a little more emotional than it is good for.
We need an asshole coach.
Yeah, I don't want to call it like this. Yeah.
But somebody that's mean, like, you know, we the Cleveland Browns, which is my NFL team here, we've had head coaches that were complete pushovers.
Yeah.
You know, the team would walk all over them. They didn't respect discipline. Then you had the guys that would be like, you know, if you mess up, you know, you're going to get benched. And the guys that would pretty much be an asshole and be very strict, very disciplinarian, and that wouldn't just stand on the sideline with, you know, a clipboard in his hand or just, you know, sitting there. If he got upset, he would yell and he'd get into the face of the referee, the official. He would yell at players coming off the pitch. Sometimes you need that little bit of, you need your ass kicked a little bit.
Absolutely agree.
You know? So
you need this kind of coach when you when you want to become a coach in Kaiserslautern. You can't be like what was his name, the one from Bayern Munich, which were always wearing like the smokings almost. He was a very good trainer, but way too calm, way too collected. Sometimes you need to freak out when you stay on the sideline, and this is very important for me because I'm standing in the block and I show my emotions, and
I'm
seeing
freaking out.
and seeing the coach on the sideline, like with the hands in his pockets and just walking up and down. This is not the type I want to see. I want to see him yell. I want to see him aggressive. This is what I want to see. So I don't remember his name. Pep Guardiola, that was his name.
Okay.
Pep Guardiola. He was an extreme good trainer, and rumors say that one time Bayern was laying behind in the first half. Then the break were, and he yelled so extremely loud toward his team that the staff outside, which usually are thick doors, heard him. And then they scored like 6 goals in the second half or something. But I want to see this on the pitch, man. I want to see a coach freak out. This is just my opinion.
Timmy Thiele was the guy that I met. Thiele.
Oh, Timmy Thiele. Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, he scored the 2 goals when he played in Cologne, Victoria Cologne. And that made that was the nail that sealed the coffin for us for the direct promotion. Yeah. But who cares? We had 2 intense games and 1 draw, 1 victory, and I will never forget this. That was so amazing.
Hey, we did it the hard way.
And we did it the hard way.
Not the easy way. We did it the worst way that we could have ever done it, and we still did it. So.
The possible worst way would have been that we lost in the first match.
Yeah.
But that was intense, man. But the upcoming season is going to be intense as well. Is there any game which you extremely look forward to?
Well, other than Karlsruhe,
yeah,
I really look forward to. I like playing. I like the games against the clubs that got relegated and promoted, because you know the newly promoted clubs from the 3rd league are going to be playing at an elevated level, kind of like we did at the beginning of last year, because we were so energized that we got promoted.
Yep.
And it gives you a little bit of extra energy. So playing them and competing against the champions of the league below, and also competing against the clubs that are coming down from the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Because they may have gotten relegated, but they're coming from a league above yours.
Absolutely.
So if you can keep up with them and make it a competitive match, I think it's a good gauge on where your club is at talent-wise, and it's a good test.
Yes, it is.
Clubs that have been in the 2nd league for 8, 9, 10 years, I mean, they're good because they've been there and they've stayed there.
Yeah.
But they're just kind of like the mediocre clubs. I want to play, the winners of the club below that are, really, they got their chest out and they're like, oh, we're the badass teams. And then even the teams that, we're in the 2nd league now, but they're looking for promotion.
Yep.
Like Schalke will be a very, very interesting match.
This is going to be extremely hard. They start, by the way, with an away match in Hamburg against HSV. So that'll be a neat match to watch on TV. I guess it's on TV in Germany on a free TV, if I'm not absolutely wrong, because they have like 3 matches right at the beginning where it's free to watch for all of us on free TV, and then we are going to play auf Schalke, which is also completely sold out, not just the guest block but the stadium as well, and this is a tough game. Oh man, Schalke is going to be extreme. I remember a game against Schalke where we won 5-0 in Kaiserslautern. And the night was never forgettable for me because I have still the scars on my face.
Is that where you made a friend with the ground?
With the brace knuckle and then with a fountain.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And Waldhof Mannheim fan punched me in the face with a brace knuckle, and because I was still standing, his friend pushed me over, so I fell and hit my face here and here with at the fountain. So my nose, the whole upper thing here, this is complete plastic. This is no bone anymore. Unfortunately, I didn't know about it because otherwise I would have asked the doctors to include an LED. So I can push a button and my nose should start glowing like Rudolph or something.
Just keep your head away from the microwave because plastic.
Matze, fix your face. What's wrong with you? I was
got like Michael Jackson.
Oh my God! Like completely, or just melted here.
Yeah.
Bella, Schatz, do you have like snot on your nose? Oh no, it's melted plastic. I was standing next to the microwave.
I left it in 20 seconds too long,
Yeah, I leave my nose in the microwave. Just like the cold start from Malcolm in the Middle, where Hal is telling Malcolm, look what I did! The microwave is working now with an open door. Why would you want to have something like this? Why? Great series, by the way.
Oh yeah.
But
so what about you? What are the matches that you are looking forward to the most?
Of course.
And by the way, I hope we get in Schalke like we had at Hamburg and Dusseldorf and Cologne, where we have like 50,000 guest fans, or however many we had. 25,000 in Hamburg.
That is
set the entire block on fire.
That's unfortunately that's not possible, because especially auf Schalke they're extremely restrictive. I hear that many fans are bought tickets on the home side next to the guest block, you know, and I get sent an email from a fan of mine which wrote an email to Schalke, and they responded that it is not forbidden but not recommended to go into the other blocks, because, well, Schalke has a very good hooligan scene. So, and it's always something which they try to attack would be way too harsh, but you know what I mean, to get to the other enemy team and stuff. But yeah, this is of course a game which I'm really looking forward to, because as I said, I've never been at an away match auf Schalke. But of course the first match is always very, very, very important for me. Then the derbies against Karlsruhe. Of course, the match against Nuremberg, not because it's Nuremberg, which always brings like a huge support, but the guys from Beklub TV are perhaps coming to my place and stay here, which I'm looking forward to. And of course, I get my certificate for the lifelong membership, as I said. And yeah, Elversberg is also interesting, because I think like being with 10,000 K-Town fans away and having 300 home fans is going to be an interesting situation in the second league.
It's like Rossesbach.
Yeah, again, exactly. You know? Yeah, absolutely. Let's see what's going to happen. Best. Still the best. Still the very best banner I've read in a very long time. Yeah, these are the games I'm really looking forward to. Of course, Osnabrück. Man, I can say that all games are having something special for me. And if you see like the away match in Düsseldorf, I don't know if you heard already about it, but this is going to be one of 3 matches in Düsseldorf where every ticket, and I mean every ticket, not VIP, but every other ticket is going to be free.
Oh wow!
They don't cost anything. They have sponsors which are taken, which are given money to make it happen for all the fans, including guest fans. And you do the same thing as you do always. You try to get the ticket, and if you get one, you're lucky, and you don't need to pay anything. But that means, on the other hand, that being with 10,000 K-Town fans in Düsseldorf is unfortunately not possible. But I think this is a very good situation, because we have a thing going on. 20 is plenty, because $20 is enough for a standing ticket, and everybody is complaining for too higher prices for tickets, and now they're making all free for everybody. I think the slogan is Fortuna für alle. For Fortuna for everyone, and now they're complaining because not regular stadium visitors getting tickets. So and bro, it is. I read everything about it because I was very interested in the concept, and they said you are going to buy a ticket. But you have like ranks, as we had for the season tickets. First, the members and season ticket owners, then the members, then the owners of season tickets. So you have like ranks where it ends up like having at the end 5,000 tickets, which are going to be for the regular public or something. So And making a club interesting and football for everybody is such a good idea. And that there again has some contra voices is weird for me.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, it's like that saying that you have said to me, and it's on a sticker, and it says, "Football is for you and me, not for fucking industry."
Absolutely.
You know, that's the main complaint that I hear from people that live in cities in the Premier League in England.
Yeah.
Where they've priced the sport out of the reach of most of your hard everyday middle class people.
Absolutely.
Where most of your fans are. But they would rather have these
popcorn fans.
Yeah, in business suits, and they're in the luxury boxes. Oh, I'm just here to watch a match, and they don't really care about the match. They just want to be seen. Oh, I'm at Liverpool, or I'm at Manchester City, or I'm at Arsenal. You know, I don't care about those fans. I want the rowdy, crazy.
Yeah. I highly prefer them, but to be absolutely honest, this is a part of the situation there. But it all started with the English sickness, as we call it in Germany, with the hooliganism, which had started, and then you had the Heysel Stadium situation, and so many catastrophes that they banned all standings. You can't stand in the stadium. Yeah. They're all seats first. Then they priced them, even back then, real high that the rowdies can't afford to go to the stadium anymore. If you ask me, it worked, but you just scoot the problem from one place to another, because
you didn't fix the problem, you just moved it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Now the problem is on the street, so thank you very much. And yes, of course, but the Premier League is a completely sellout, and is one of the worst for me imaginations for German football, that someone who has never had any connection to football is going to buy a club just because he needs something to play with, like a toy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that really sucks, you know? When you see, like, we played against Norwich City, second league team, and they're worth 100 million. Roundabout. 100 million euros. Yeah. So we are 15 mm-hmm. million. So this is nothing you can compare. You can't compare.
And we played them to a draw.
To a draw. Yeah. And keep in mind, Darmstadt, which got promoted from the second to first league, they lost 1-0 against them.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but the problem is that companies are seeing that football is bringing money. Mm-hmm. And luckily we had like... the DFB got asked for sponsorship for more stretched out match days, that they're going to be from, let's say, Thursday to Tuesday.
Yeah.
And all the 36 major leagues, major teams in the first and second league had the chance to vote if yes or no, and luckily they were against it. Luckily, and also very lucky that we kept the 50+1 restriction in the Bundesliga. And I hear so many people say, yeah, we need to be competitive to the English league, to the Spanish league and stuff. And if you ask me, really, and that's my honest thoughts about it, fuck this. Mm-hmm. Really, I would rather be completely uninteresting in Europe, but have real football.
Yeah.
And football belongs to the lower class people. Mm-hmm. Quote.
Yep. The everyday people. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You know, here in Cleveland, we have a section of fans called the Dog Pound. Uh-huh. It's kind of like what would be considered our West Curve. It's kind of where your rowdy, obnoxious, boisterous fans are. The entire stadium used to be full of really I guess you call blue collar people, middle class or low class. You have, in every stadium here, you have like luxury boxes where like, your business people go. And then when the team left for 4 years, they got moved to Baltimore and then they built the new stadium. These new stadiums are all like, I don't know, and it's a big complaint, but they call it family friendly atmosphere. And you have people that'll yell at you for standing up, and they'll yell at you if you say a curse word or if you get a little bit noisy, and it ruins it for like 90% of the fans there. I'm like, I'm sorry, but if you take your child to a game, you better tell them, hey, Johnny, you're going to hear some words that you better not repeat at home, But now they try to police the fans to be more respected or respecting to other people. You don't want to stand too long so the person that's behind you can't see what's going on. Well, stand up too, because I'm used to 3 years of standing in the West Curve for the entire match. I can't watch a sporting event sitting down anymore. I have to stand. Because if not, I'm going to be like, I'm like going to go nuts. You know?
We call it like bumblebees in the ass.
Yeah.
to say it exactly, this is the exact. You can't sit still. I've once had to witness a game, which was the relegation game between 1860 and Jan Regensburg. I drove all the way from Kaiserslautern to Munich to support our friends. We lost, unfortunately, and the only ticket I got was a seating ticket. And I can't help myself. And luckily the others had the same thoughts, so everything were fine. But I can see like that people want to sit, but do me a favor and go to a section where seating is a regular thing when it comes to football, because you know that in the upper half of the West Curve there are seats. And you can't sit there. You can sit there if you want to, but you can't sit there. And if you want to sit, well, feel free, but don't brag.
Don't complain.
Don't brag that. Don't complain that you can't see anymore. Then look over there. There is the South Tribune and there's the Nordkurve. There you go. Feel free. Sit there. No, seeing sports while sitting is really gear grinding. It hurts me when I watch TV. Because usually when I watch a football match at home, I actually, when I'm not streaming, I'm standing in front of the TV. And I walk back and forth and still yelling and all the stuff. Because sitting, no, this is not my type of football.
I got a cool little story to tell you. It actually brings to mind a recent event. My friend Ricardo, when him and his girlfriend were here in Cleveland, I took them to a Cleveland Guardians game. The Guardians used to be called the Cleveland Indians. They're our baseball team. And we got really nice seats right in the outfield. I'm like, well, this is where Jose Ramirez usually hits his home runs. We didn't get to see a home run, but we were down two runs in the ninth inning. We came back and tied it, so we went into extra innings, and the visiting team gets to hit first. They almost had a chance to score a run, but they didn't. And I told Ricardo, I'm like, look, man, we're gonna win this in the bottom of our inning. And of course, we had a walk-off win. And what did me and him both do without even thinking? We took our beers and we threw it up in the air like we were in the Betson. We did a beer shower. Got a whole bunch of people wet. And I'm like, sorry, that's what we do when we win in a crazy moment. We throw a beer up in the air.
Great. Were they complaining?
And I didn't have to tell them to do it. We both just, we were sitting there. And like, this is going to be like the West Curve in about
This is emotion.
5 seconds. And as soon as the guy hit the ball and the guy came around and scored the winning run, we just threw it right up in the air.
That's crazy.
He's like, holy shit, you haven't forgotten. I'm like, of course I'll never forget that. I throw my beer at home. That's my ceiling is always wet.
Did the other fans complain because they got wet?
A couple of them looked around and they like they saw everybody else is kind of like dancing around, and they kind of just like whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Go home and put your shirt in the washing machine.
Come on, it's just beer. It's not like acid or something.
Lick it off your hand. You know?
Yeah. Man, going out of the stadium, it don't smell like beer, pyro, and cigarettes. It's not
something wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not.
Or you weren't at the match.
Absolutely.
Or you were in the wrong part of the stadium.
True. And we were talking about promotions before. Hang on, I'm terribly sorry that I'm always itching here. I have still a sunburn from from my holiday. Greetings from Mauritius, by the way. It says our sub-17 and the sub-19 team both got relegated into the Bundesliga. Isn't that awesome?
That's awesome, man. Yeah. Well, they got promoted, not relegated.
Promoted. Oh my God! Yeah, they got promoted.
They got
from the Champions League.
They were playing a level above that.
Yeah, exactly.
Where were they playing?
In the Champions League. Yeah. No, that is really extreme because seeing that the youth is doing so extremely good is so important for me. And both games were against Wien Wiesbaden, which is also a competitor in the upcoming season against us. And the sub-17 won 5-1 and sub-19 4-0. So very good scores in the end, and I was also very happy. Unfortunately, I would love to go to these games, but as I said, I was so freaking busy in that summer break. But
no, they
celebrated.
The under-19 team played at Fritz Walter Stadium in the practice field behind. Right?
Yeah, the sub-17 as well.
Yeah. Okay. I've only been to one youth club, and I think it was the under-21 team.
Yep.
And
our second team.
At Rote Teufel Park.
There. Sportspark Rote Teufel. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them a couple times, but that's really good for us because that might be one of our players in 2 or 3 years.
Absolutely. And
you have to develop the youth.
Exactly. And that's why I always say I really try to, when I can make it happen, I always try to make it happen, to be live at the game, to show them that the youth is important for us, and that we are supporting them, and that we are here for them, that they feel a connection to our team and are willing to stay at our team.
Yeah.
And I've been at a couple of games where even the ultras joined. We had a game against Sandhausen, and later that day we played against who was it? Dudenhofen or something, with our sub-21 team, and all the ultras were there, and they were standing right in the corner, and there was so much pyro going on that we had 2 or 3 breaks while the game was on, because they had to get the smoke out of the way. That was so crazy. It was always fun.
That's gotta mean a lot to a young player.
Yeah.
To make him feel like he's part of the main club.
Yeah.
To see, bengalos and chanting and pyro going off and smoke bombs. I mean, just put yourself in the shoes of that player.
Yeah.
And if you close your eyes, you can almost imagine I'm playing in Fritz Walter Stadium on the main club.
Yep.
And it's just like a little taste,
Absolutely. It's like a tiny bit of what is going to be your future when you stay at our club.
Yeah.
So this is something very important, and we have a very good youth work, and luckily we started to to have a women's team, which I also think is very, very cool. There is the FFC Kaiserslautern, so the female football club Kaiserslautern, which I've been a guest for a couple of times, and the women are very, very good players, and they're always leaving their heart on the pitch, and they do everything for a good game, and giving the fans a good feeling. So this is also very important. And an extra right here, we have a girls club now for very young girls who want to play football.
Okay.
This is also so great. Giving money to the youth now is paying off in 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Or
no, I
10
did
or 15.
start watching them because you had worn their shawl on your program.
Yeah.
How did they finish the season? I kind of lost touch with them. How did they finish the year? Did they finish pretty good?
Yes, they did very good. Okay. Very, very good. Luckily. So the upcoming season is starting in 1 or 2 weeks. Unfortunately, they play almost the same time when Kaiserslautern is playing. But I saw that we are playing at 1 p.m. and at 3 p.m. they are going to play. So we have a half an hour to spare to leave the stadium and get there.
Oh, nice.
Hopefully that will work out.
One of my friends, Christian Huberty, a good friend of mine, his son Calvin plays in kind of a youth league for the Kaiserslautern, but it's the Turn- und Sportsgemeinschaft Kaiserslautern.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
They play in a little bit north of the city, but he has really grown into a really good athlete, and I think he's 14 now.
Mm-hmm.
So if he keeps at it, he might be on the radar of the club.
That would be so amazing.
To have your son end up playing for the main team, I mean, that would be a dream for, I think, any parent.
Absolutely.
To have your son play pro. So,
yeah. And especially when it's the club which belongs your heart to.
Yeah.
So, is there anything else? Oh, we talked so many stuff.
Oh, yeah.
About so many stuff.
Covered all the bases. Tell us about, well, you mentioned it, that you're sunburned. Tell us about your vacation. I had mentioned before we started the program that I had never heard of this island, but what was it like? What kind of, did you run into any people from K-Town there that recognized you, or tell us about your trip.
Okay, so I was on Mauritius, which is east of Africa, so it belongs to the continent of Africa, and it is a very small island, so it's smaller than the Saarland. So yeah, it has 2.3 million people living there, and I've been around the world a lot. I've been in the States. I've been to Finland, Japan, Caribbean. I've been to almost every country from Great Britain, France, Italy. There's so many countries, but I've never had so friendly people like on Mauritius. That is no kidding. Usually you run into some unpolite people, but they're not a single one. Oh, wow. We landed there at the airport, and we got a taxi, a cab to our hotel, and the driver were asking if we were here for the first time, and we were like, yeah. And all of a sudden we had a guide. He started to explain almost everything, like real everything, like what is this, what is special here, what's special there, what is good for sightseeing, what tours we should do, and what we definitely need to see, and just amazing. And the hotel where we were was also extremely great. I highly recommend the Tamarin Bay Hotel. It was just beautiful. The people there also. The food was great. Unfortunately, I gained weight again. Like, I dropped.
You don't gain weight on vacation. You didn't have a good time.
Absolutely. The bar was great. We had a very great barkeeper. We were there like every night. We had all inclusive, and so the drinks were free. And we were sitting there like the third night, and he recognized us immediately, and he brought a drink. And when he's going to grab the empty glass, he immediately brought another. Oh, wow. And every time a different drink. Because I asked him, why not the same? He said, well, being open-minded, and you need to taste everything. Yeah. So
he was looking out for you.
Exactly. And it is winter in Mauritius right now. We had 27 to 33 degrees. And you can definitely see who is a citizen and who is tourist, because all the tourists were shorts and t-shirt, and the citizens all wear at least long pants, usually a sweater.
Oh, wow.
On this temperature, I thought like I'm going to die if I would have worn a sweater. So the weather was great. The ocean were beautiful. When we walked it was a 1-minute walk from our hotel room to the beach. I'm going to upload a video on YouTube about our like a small vlog of the vacation. We saw so much nature, and it was so beautiful. Like,
oh, wow.
it is so extremely green. This whole island is green. And okay, driving on the left side were really confusing. Luckily, Bella and I were thinking about renting a car, but we didn't in the end, which were very good, because I don't know if she could handle left side driving. Well, she could, but they drive a little nuts there, like crazy, but very polite on the other hand. So speeding, but respectful speeding, if that makes sense. So if anyone is listening to this and has a chance to go to Mauritius, do yourself a favor and do it. It is absolutely worth. You see, I saw so many beautiful sunrises, and I can't explain it. This is we've been to a dolphin watching tour, and there were so many of them. Being so close to nature in this category is just makes you think in another way when it comes to saving the planet, you know?
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it.
Now, is this island affordable? I know a lot of people that have been to like Palma,
yeah,
you know, some of the party islands. Mm-hmm. How is it price-wise compared to like some of the more common tourist spots for like German people to go to?
Okay. When we got the cab to our hotel for the first time, Bella said there is a gas station, and I asked her what are the price for gas, because you can estimate by the price. And she said there are no prices. Then the second one came up, and I asked her again, still no prices. The third one, no prices. So I asked the driver, why are there no prices for the gas? And he said, like, the gas on Mauritius is everywhere the exact same price. They do it by regulating the tax.
Okay.
And so that means that the expensive gas is 66 rupees, which are it is very easy to calculate it. You double the number, and you take the comma and put it 2 digits to the left.
Okay.
So it's with gas is a little stupid, because they're having other ways to get to the gas. It was 66, or the cheaper one was 54 rupees. Okay. There's stuff which is extremely cheap, like a local rum. A liter costs 8 euros. This is extremely cheap. In Germany, a bottle of rum is like
20, maybe
15.
Yeah.
But everything which needs to get from other countries is extremely expensive. Like a bottle of Jack Daniels costs 64 bucks. Oh, 64 euros. But then you have other stuff which is so extremely cheap, like bread. When you buy, they have been culminated by is that the correct term? By France. And a baguette is, they need to have a specific size and a specific weight. And it always costs 15 rupees, which are 30 cents.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Because they say, like, everyone needs to have bread. And every store who is selling anything to eat, it doesn't matter what, they need to sell bottled water. Also for, I think, 20 cents-ish for half a liter. Because they have, like, water from the pipes, but it is not recommended to drink it. You can drink it, but you're not recommended. It's not recommended.
Do this at your own risk.
Yes.
Stay by the toilet later.
Yeah, because, well, they use, like, how do you call it? Like, when you put something on the plants that there are no insects destroying it.
Insecticide.
Yeah, exactly. And this is going into the water in the earth, and they are taking the drinking water out of the earth. So, yeah. But the estimate money which someone is earning there is around about 600 euro. So it is cheap to live there. We bought a ship, completely handmade out of wood. It is the Black Pearl from Pirates of the Caribbean. It's like this size. So big, and it takes them a month to build this, and it costs hang on, it was, I bought a bottle ship as well, a bigger one, and it costed 320 in total.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, and let's say when you go into any like, we have been to a safari park. And it costs you, or no, I can better said, like a park area where you have so many different plants, and the entrance were €2. So yeah, in Germany would pay like the 10th or no, five times as much, so $10 at least. And we had a guide there. He was for an hour, a guided tour for 2 people, €4.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And it's easy to fly to that island?
Well, we took the plane from Frankfurt to Dubai and from Dubai to Mauritius, but there are direct flights. But we decided to use a stop in between, because the time when we fly back home or landed on Mauritius were way better. We landed at 9 a.m. and we took the plane back home at 9 p.m. So we had both days almost completely, and yeah, come on, sitting at an airport for 3 hours, having headphones or a laptop, who cares? And we flew with the new hang on, 380.
Okay.
That is, I flew so much in my freaking life, but this one is completely other thing. You feel like you're sitting in an first up, you have a lot of space, so I could stretch my legs out, and I flew economy. I stretched my legs out and I still had room.
Oh, wow.
And you have a screen in front of you, which I'm used to, but the entertainment you got there is... There were like all the Lord of the Rings movies, all Harry Potter movies, like the actual new cinema movies, which you can watch on the flight. It was just crazy. And the luggage, we flew with Emirates. We had 2 how do you call this?
Like the checked bags.
The check-in bags. We had 2 bags for each of us with hang on, these are 46 pounds.
Okay.
So that is extreme.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't complain. I highly recommend going to Mauritius. and just enjoying it there, but not in the summer. Not in the summer, because I became friends with the staff of some of the staff from our hotel. They're so friendly. I said it earlier, but it was, you know, we just wanted to book a taxi, a cab for the next day, and then the receptionist said, "Okay, just move on the other side, and there are people who are taking care of this." We just wanted a cab. We ended up with 2 day tours and 2 more taxis for 4 days in total. And they don't sold us this stuff, because in this hotel you had 400 rupees per person per day. Which you can spend for day tours. So for the 2 tours we had to pay 32 euros in total, which was a day trip with dolphin watching, snorkeling, and barbecue.
Oh, wow.
So that was just great. And we became friends with them, as I said, because they asked us why are we on Mauritius? And I said, yeah, it's our 10-year anniversary and our 5-year anniversary of our wedding. So they organized a free, how do you call it when you have like something before the main dish and dessert?
Like an appetizer.
Yeah, you have like these 3, we call it 3-Gänge-Menü, like a menu. For us, including a bottle of sparkling wine, all completely for free on our anniversary. So this was so great for us. And when we got back home, back into our hotel, they had a heart made out of towels with flowers organized and stuff. So great, so great. Oh, wow. And as a thank for them, Bella drew them on paper. You know that Bella is drawing very, very good. And another one, I had a long conversation about music, and I made him an SD card with hardcore, punk, and all this good stuff, because he said like he's always open-minded to new extreme music. So I made him an SD card with round about 200 songs. So yeah, nice. These guys were very, very cool. Nice. So, bro, now enough from my holidays, because they're over. But what's coming on Saturday is St. Pauli. What are your thoughts? We talked about it earlier. The team is going to be extreme hard to play. But what are your thoughts? Are we going to win, to draw, or to lose?
We're going to, I could see us getting points. I'm going to say it that way.
Okay.
We're going to get some points. Last season is last season. You know, the summer training matches that you have are a completely different thing.
Oh, yes.
When it's game 1 and the season is starting, anything can happen. It usually takes 2 or 3 weeks of playing to really get the rust off. And we've got a lot of new people that are playing. So it's going to take time, I think, to get that chemistry going. But we'll see what happens. I would like to see us win.
Of course.
But I will take the opener with points. You know.
Usually, you know that I'm not going to predict what's going to happen, but I can see ourselves in the same situation as we had in the opening match last season, where we scored in the stoppage time the 2-1 against Hannover 69. Yeah. So I would buy this, definitely. Yeah. But it's going to be a tough one. But man, I really think that Schuster and the whole team has done so much work. And we're so passionate in trying to get better. Of course, you said it, that the preparedness for the upcoming season is one thing, and seeing that St. Pauli won all of their 7 test games is harsh, especially when you see like 25-2 goals. But still, these are just testing matches, not a point match. So the season is a completely other pair of shoes. So I can see ourselves fighting, biting, and using our fingernails to get as many as good as possible, and getting the 40 points as soon as possible. And just my prediction for the whole season, we end up in rank 7. There you go.
That's, I was
7th place.
7 or 8. 7 or 8, yeah.
This is our place.
Is very respectable. Because this year it's going to be a little bit more difficult than last year.
Oh,
yes.
Not
going to take anybody by surprise. They've seen us. They know how we play, with the only exception being our new players. So I think it's going to be an interesting season. Just get that 40 points, stay in the league. Maybe another year, get that talent developed, get it built, and then fight for promotion to where we belong, top flight.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. And, well, it is going to be a hard season.
Yeah.
Because it's the second season in the second league. We have extremely strong enemies coming up, but we know what we can do. Especially we know as fans what we can do, and this curve can win. This curve can win games.
Oh yeah.
So we will do everything for our club.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I think these were good words for the ending.
Oh yeah.
My brother, it was an extreme pleasure to have you here again. I'm looking forward to our next one, which is coming up in 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
2 weeks.
We can do our first episode with the first home match and the first away match. Get that
Sounds great.
That nice little jump start to the season here.
Okay, my brother. Then take care, be safe, and see you in the block.
See you on the couch.